Hello friends and welcome to quiz number 7 for Midi 2. This is going to be it. This is the last one. So let's jump right on in. Number 1, many artists were hesitant to use Midi because it was inconsistent and failed frequently. It's just the way it was back in the day, and so it took a while to catch on. Secondly, it was false that the possibilities when using MIDI for live performance are limited to loops, right? You can do anything with MIDI live that you can do in the studio. That's pretty obvious. Okay. The next one is a little less obvious. I don't know if I agree with this completely, but it's okay enough to put in for this question, I think. So, inside of a studio, someone might be called an electronic musician, as opposed to when they're performing live, they might be called a DJ. Okay, that's okay with me for this question. We can debate definitions a little more in class if you want, but that's fine with me. What we cannot debate is that individual needs of the performer are what you need to keep in mind when choosing your software, right? I'm still a Pro Tools guy, but I'm trying to learn other things. There are a lot of times when I'm using GarageBand just because it's quick and it's easy and I can do it without a lot of setup, right? Logic has some things in it that I like. I'm learning Ableton for more production type things. I'm looking to do that. So each has its own advantages and disadvantages, and you as the artist, you need to make your own decisions. All right, MIDI mapping is assigning MIDI functions and parameters to the pads, knobs, and the keys on a controller rather than using a mouse and a keyboard. That's pretty straightforward right there. Okay. OSC. I am not sponsored by OSC, and I should not be. OSC is arguably better than MIDI for all of the reasons listed. So all of the above, or all the answers are correct, whatever wording is used on that question. I don't remember. But yeah, the guys that wrote this book were really taken, I think, with this OSC, and I don't think it's going to catch on, but who knows? I've been wrong about such things before. Speaking of which, the lemur was overshadowed by the cheaper iPad, right? It sounds like the lemur was set up for this OSC, and you could do just as well with an iPad, and the iPad was cheaper, and you could also play Angry Birds on it. Okay, so OSC's lack of set definitions for messages and complete user customization is why many companies are worried about designing products for the OSC protocols. And I can see that, right? That's on one hand, they see that as being flexible and being open, and as a good feature, where, right, why should I bother incorporating that when we've got MIDI and it's working just fine right now? All right. Controllerists is the name that they gave in the book for artists who perform solely on MIDI controllers. I haven't heard this outside of the book, but yeah, I could see it becoming something, but I don't know that we really need a name for it. But for the question, controllerist is an artist who performs solely on MIDI controllers. Expressive control is the use of body movements and hand gestures to transfer messages to a host software. Again, this is another thing that I'm not entirely sure we need, but I've been wrong about these sorts of things, and we will see, because at these prices, the kangaroo is not surprised.